Oh yeah, hi folks. This is Gary McPherson again. I was able to get a video on the YouTube the other day because I didn't know how to do it. I don't know. But I tried to explain the first Thrall novel and the second Thrall novel when they ran into the Thrall3s on Earth, because the blue-skinned guy was masquerading as a captain, and when Dr. Ron was at the CIA and everything, and she thought his name was Captain Sam Broom, but it wasn't. That was a ruse. He was actually General Antar Thrax of the Thrall3 race, and he was looking for the 8 rings of Thrall 2. He was the one in the war with the Emar race of the Mora Prime, because him and Gregorian of the Emar race, Gregorian Smith, they're old nemesis, and that's before they ever crash landed. That's before the Zornians ever went to Thrall, because the war was so deep that they didn't know it, and it was the wrecked ship that, see, the Emar priests fled Mora Prime with all that stuff that they had in their ship, but their ship had been damaged because the Thrallarians damaged their ship. But they were faster than the Thrallarian vessels, so they lost track of them. They didn't know where they went. They couldn't find them until General Antar Thrax ran into Dr. Ron and read their minds, because the Thrallarians had very powerful minds. And General Thrax they had a militaristic society too, and they didn't really have like democracy, you know. They had a military type of thing, you know. And he was the general. He had the strongest mind on Kaltara. That's why he was General Antar Thrax. And of course he had all these cronies and all that shit, you know. I mean, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that word. I apologize. I apologize for that. I didn't mean that. I shouldn't have said. I can't say that. I'm sorry. I let that one slip out. I'm sure it costs a lot, man. My teeth come out. See, my teeth. This is. And I don't say the words right because all my words come out wrong because I lost some of my teeth and so forth. But what I was going to try to tell you was about the third novel in the Thrall series. See, what happens is that in the third novel of Thrall, the evil wizard, the evil guy Karn Magelson, escapes because they trapped him around the rings. Thrall has 2 moons. The small orange one is called Demi, and the big moon is with the bands of multicolored rings around it is called Arcturus. And Karn ended up around the rings of Arcturus with Matthias. But Karn was so smart that he kept figuring out a way to break out of his prison. Because he didn't like this. They were in heaven over there, but Karn didn't like heaven. He was used to hell. So that's why he wanted to get the hell out of there, because he didn't like that. He didn't like being in heaven, because he was like the devil, you know. To him, that was hell. And so Karn kept finding a way to escape, because he had translated the 2 books of Thrallian scrolls farther than anyone else had. And so, in the third novel, Karn Magelson Nor catches Nor's younger brother, because Karn's a Zornian. Karn Magelson was actually a Zornian because he was on the Zornian Council of Science, and with his other brother Jarrett Hall Nor. There were 3 brothers, and Kesh was the senior elder of Zorn, but Karn, that's how he ended up on Dalton 4 and gave the Daltonians all their technologies, because he was also suffered that radiation accident on Velos with Dr. Ron. And he and that's why okay, so that's how they ended up all on thrall and everything. But then Karn escaped from the rings of Arcturus again in the third novel, and he went all the way to Keltara because General Thrax had broken into the museum at Catland and stolen the 2 books of Thrallian scrolls in the boxes containing the rings, because he could. Okay, that's a long story, but let me try to shorten it. But in the third novel, Karn, Maeghelson Nor, escapes with the help of Dr. Clive Cara, because he develops a new ship because they're in telepathic contact. And so that's how Karn escaped, because Dr. Clive Cara picked him up. And him and General Anthar Thrax and Sheila Azar, Colonel Sheila Azar, the evil trio as I call them. And so Karn one day, General Thrax was behind his desk, and then somebody says, well, here's this old man in a trench coat outside of the Civic Council Center, the Civic Center, and General Thrax says, does he have any ID? No, but he's got a long, kind of a trench coat and a white beard and long white hair, but he says something, he can help you with the ring. So General Thrax, with his powerful mind, says, well, the rings, eh? We'll let him in them. And so here comes Karn Maeghelson again, but in a trench coat, you know. He walks into his office, you know. Hello, General Thrax. I heard you something about the rings. Maybe I can help you. I see you have the 2 books of Thrallian scrolls there. I heard about them, because I used to work on Thrall just a little bit for the Sharon Hall Nor, the curator of the museum at Catland, who established that museum. So General Thrax, of course, he don't know. He says, well, maybe. So Karn says, maybe I can help you open the rings. Let me read the books. And the General Thrax don't know. You know, he don't know. I mean, he doesn't know. So he lets Karn read a few passages from the books. He said, yes, that should do it. Hello, General. Now do you know who I am? I'm Karn Maeghelson Nor. And those are my rings. Now they're on my fingers again. Now you're going to work for me, General Thrax. So they form an alliance. Karn and General Anthar Thrax and Colonel Sheila Azar form the evil trio, because the Zornians, they know the Zornians are headed to Keltara, because Goron is still wearing the 2 strongest rings of all, and he cannot take them off his fingers. And so they have to go in the third novel of Thrall. They have to go 1,000 light years to Keltara, but the Keltarians have warships in orbit and a defense grid. But the Zornians have Zornian orbs, and with the help of Dr. Aaron Crone, the chief Zornian engineer, they slip right through the defense grid of Keltara. And so and they actually land in a desert on Keltara. But they have to pass themselves off because the Keltarians are the blue-skinned race, and the Zornians are more whitish in nature, see? And so when they come into the city, they meet a reporter called Shara Land, and she takes them into her confidence and so forth. But see, they don't look like Keltarians. So Goron, the Zornian giant, develops a plan where he puts on this blue grease paint for everybody, so they would look like Keltarians. And that was in the third novel of Thrall, the trilogy series. So there's books 1, 2, and 3. and Karn escaped from the rings of Arcturus. And then now here comes the fight. All hell breaks loose again because Karn is a devil incarnate, man. He'll scare you wider than it goes, man. That kid would. And he's sneaky, and he's sly, man. He's slyer than goddamn Satan himself, man. I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I'm sorry about. I said a couple cuss words there. I apologize. Well, I'll try to get this on YouTube for you, and I might, since I've learned how to do it, I might tell you about my other novels too, just a bit at a time, because I wrote about 8 novels and stuff, and the trilogy of Thrall is the 3 that I started back in about 1982 or so when I was still in Kansas City, Missouri, because I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. I'm not from Rochester, New York. And I guess that's all I should say now. I can't say too much more. But I'll try to get this video posted for you, and please buy my novels at my website, www.sbpra.com/GDMAC/, and that'll take you right to my webpage, because my webpage is about the only place you can buy it right now. But I think you have to put it on your credit card. I'm not too sure about it. My keyboard's broken down today, so I can't. I have to wait for the technician to come out and replace the keyboard, and because I can't type without. There's 2 letters broken down, so I can't type. I can't write until they come over, until the technician gets here. All right. Well, thanks for your help. God bless America, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching the video here. So long.